Hello and welcome. I'm Craig Harrington, and today's topic is the continued collapse of the American stock market. On Thursday, March 5th, the Dow Jones Industrial Average hit a bottoming point at near 6,630 points. This marked the lowest point it had reached since April 22nd of 1997. On the same day, the S&P 500 reached its lowest point since the beginning of September in 1996. When you combine the stock markets, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you'll see that each of America's largest stock indexes has lost over half of its value in the past year. Each of them peaked at an all-time high in October or November of 2007, and since then, they've lost 51%, 53%, and 54% respectively. Over the past 10 years, Americans put too much of their investment capital into things that don't have real value. When you buy a share, when you buy a stock, you're buying something that doesn't actually have any tangible asset worth. It is merely worth the amount that people are willing to pay for it. It is completely dictated by the whims of consumer confidence and market fluctuations. A well-diversified portfolio, which was invested on the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, or the Dow Jones, would have seen half of its value cut in the last year. A poorly diversified portfolio may have been completely wiped out. Imagine if the Bush administration plans to privatize Social Security, the plan to make every man his own investor, had been put through Congress and put into action in 2006 and 2007. The United States would see its single largest entitlement plan, that of Social Security, completely wrecked and ravaged by the stock market's fluctuations. The stock market was artificially inflated because of the deregulation of the Bush administration and has since hemmed itself in. The stock market has no real value, so there's no way of saying when it will bottom out or where it will start to peak up again. All we can say is that it's not a reasonable investment. If for the past 10 years Americans had instead invested their capital into energy solutions, into manufacturing and industry, into things which created jobs and created assets here in the United States, we'd be in a much better situation. But instead, we took trillions of dollars out of our health care, out of our retirement, and out of our savings, and we put it into the stock market, and much of that money has simply evaporated. The United States cannot continue down this path. The stock market is not the economy, and it doesn't even give a good representation of the economy. Only a small proportion of our economy is directed by the stock market. Unfortunately, that proportion has grown dramatically over the past 10 years. Bush-era deregulation pushed more people into buying stock under the false assumption that the share prices would always continue to go up. So somehow, the natural cycle of markets was completely lost on many investors. The whole reason that stocks were created was so businesses could sell parts of their company to investors, use that investment to buy real assets so that they could have and hold something tangible for the future. Unfortunately, during the Bush-era deregulations, companies took the money that they had raised from selling stock and bought more stock. This inflated the values across the board and pushed it to the point of collapse. Since late 2007, when the stock markets began to decline irreparably, the United States and its major companies have seen themselves without any collateral to hold on to. The only thing that they have are their stocks, and those stocks are plummeting. The United States needs a better solution. If we'd invested our money into infrastructure, manufacturing, energy solutions, we'd have something right now. Trillions of dollars worth of capital investment, which we could have held on to for a rainy day. Instead, we have nothing. And that's showing in the American economy today. On behalf of concerned citizens, I'm Craig Harrington with economyincrisis.org News.
Wake up, America! Open up your eyes! Wake up, America! Wake up!
Produced by economyincrisis.org.